by getting. So you may have seen my diagram that I brought in. This looks like a monk. It's really just a person sitting in meditation. But it looks like there's a target right here in the center. And this represents the koshas, or the layers or sheaths or casings of our being. The dot in the very middle represents the soul. And then there's 5 layers around it. And we're on the 3rd layer, which is the Manomaya Kosha. So the first layer is the gross anatomy, or the physical presence of our bodies. And that is considered the food body. What is tangible, what can be seen, what we know exists. And the second layer we mentioned in detail last week, which was the Manomaya Kosha, which is the energetic sheath, or the breath body. And we talked about the breath, the sun, and the food being our kind of sources for fueling ourselves with that energy that permeates throughout the mind and the body, that animates the mind and the body. And so the 3rd layer is Manomaya Kosha. And mano means mind. So it's the mind stuff. So if you consider within the energetic layer is the mind, that's where we're thinking. That's where we're gaining insight. That's when we gain our intuitive messages. This is our imagination. This is when we daydream. This is when we dream. This is when we use guided imagery and meditation. This is when we have fantasies. So we know that exists because we experience that. Same thing with energy. Energy can be experienced, it can be felt, it can be measured. We know that there's the mind stuff always happening. Even emotions actually are considered part of this particular layer, the Manomaya Kosha, because we're aware of the feelings. You know, whether it's sadness or joy, whether it's sorrow, grief, or joyous celebrations and extreme happiness. It can be either end of the spectrum. So when we're going through the practice today, be aware when you enter into that layer. There's some times where you are focused on the physical anatomy. There are times where you're focused on the breath, but there are times where you slip into this layer and you notice what thoughts are passing through your mind. And the idea of yoga and meditation is to be really heightened in our awareness of what's happening at that level, because at every layer, it's going to feed to the other layers as well. Now, before penicillin, before antibiotics were created, we here in the West were just as concerned as the East was about the vital life force. The vital life force was that layer that we spoke of last week, but it also included the mind stuff, because that is a part of it. And unfortunately, when all of these type of drugs were created, it was just strictly for the physical body. Let's cure the symptoms, let's mask the symptoms, and let's not go to the root cause of whatever is causing it. But if you really dive into these philosophies, and if you really dive in even into Western medicine, they'll say the mind is where it all begins. The mind is the root cause of anything that develops in the body. So that's why it's so important. So let's go ahead and lie down. Have your strap in hand's reach. And we'll start on our backs with our feet apart, our hands resting on the abdomen. And go ahead when you lie down, flex out through your ankles, push out with your heels, and then set the heels back down, let your feet flop away from your center line. Let the shoulders crawl down from the ears. The elbows can fan out, hands resting on the body. And then pick up the head, tuck the chin towards your chest. Keep that chin tuck as you slowly lower back down. And then shield your eyes with your lids. Notice the contact of the floor beneath the body. And give permission to your bones to get heavy and allow your muscles to soften. Even allow the expression to fade away from the face. Pay attention to the movement beneath your hands. If you feel movement in your belly, you know that you're breathing in a diaphragmatic way. That can be calming and centering before we start. Now that you focus on the outermost layer, focus now on the second layer, the breath. Feel the breath moving in. Feel the breath moving out. Purposely deepen that flow. Increasing the in-breath and elongating the out-breath. Allow your breath to tap you deeper within to that third layer, the Manomaya Kosha. With your attention being on your body and breath, you may have decreased that current of thoughts, but there may be a few that percolate up to the surface. I want you to stay interested in this layer today. Noticing when thoughts pipe up. And then noticing those thoughts to see if they're helpful or hurtful, useful or useless. Just noticing how your mind works. Doing so without judgment. Doing so with curiosity. All right, let's go ahead and add in more movement. Let's bring the feet closer together. Draw the right knee in towards your upper body. Take that strap. We're going to go to Padangusthasana A. The strap is around the foot. You're sailing that leg skyward. Finding your edge of flexibility with your hamstrings. Firing into the left leg that's on the floor. Pushing the foot into the strap, but also lightly pulling on the strap to keep the foot flexed. That will activate both the front side of the leg as well as the back side. Push down through the left thigh bone. Keep pushing up through the right heel and the ball of the foot. Spread the toes. Keep the shoulders planted down. If or when you feel your body give or release, you can go a little deeper, playing that initial edge, taking it to the secondary edge. Let's go ahead and bend the right knee. Let the knee slip off towards the right side. Take your right hand to hold the foot. Sole of the foot is facing the ceiling, the ankle's lined over the knee. It's like half happy baby pose. Now putting the stretch more into the hip, into the low back. So one reason we use affirmations in yoga is to help to reprogram this layer, this Manomaya Kosha. Since our minds are often programmed to be negative or fearful or doubtful, we plug it in with positive affirmations. We also use mantras. Mantras on repeat, and mantra means a mind tool. We'll be using both of those today. As you exhale, release your handhold to the foot, slide your right leg out, bring your left knee in, and take Padangusthasana A on the side. Sail the leg upward, pressing the strap down into the foot, pushing the foot up into the strap. Noticing the variance between the two sides. Again, without judgment, just curiosity. It's good information to have about yourself. But you can notice how life shows up in the body. Breathe openly. Maybe take it a slight distance more if your body allows. No force. Just gentle encouragement. For Padangusthasana A, let's start to bend the knee. Let's flare the knee off to the side. Take your handhold to the foot. Pull the foot down, which drives the knee down, which operates from the hip. Belly rising on the inhale. Retracting on the exhale. Firming here as you hold left and right and all around. Life's harmonies are truly mine. Left and right, and all around. Life's harmonies are truly mine. As you exhale, release the hand from the foot. Take the strap off to the side. And tuck your knees in and hug them with your arms. What's called Apanasana, wind release pose. Roll over to the right side of your body. Grab your strap again, and we're going to rise to stand. To stand, you're going to lodge your feet down into the floor, stacking them with the other joints through the legs. And the hands are going to be held out a little wider than the hips. And we're going to bring the strap up overhead. So now with the arms overhead, I want you to imagine the landing line is releasing from your hips, down through the center of your leg bones, to the center of your feet, down into the earth. At the same time, you're lifting up your waist, up your arms, so that you're creating two lines of energy. All right, we're probably going to need the width between the hands to widen, because what we're going to do is just slide them further apart so that when you rock your strap back behind your shoulders, you can stay here, breathe here, and open up those connective tissues where the chest and the shoulders meet. This is also a really great stretch for the pectoral pectoral muscles in the chest. Awesome for bringing the life force energy into the heart, not just the physical heart, but the metaphysical heart. Good. Inhale, lift the arms straight up again, and then exhale, lower them down. All right, we're going to do that again. Hopefully you'll feel a difference. Push down through the soles of the feet, lift up energetically through the upper body. Good. Exhale, go ahead and drop the strap just behind your shoulder blades. It's as if you were looking into a mirror and you wouldn't be able to see the strap behind you. Maybe the strap dangling from the hands. Hopefully you feel a difference. Maybe it's not as taut now as it was initially. We've been opening it up. Sink the hands down to the back side of your legs. And then we're going to come up and hold again. Inhale, lift it up just behind the shoulders. Good. On your next inhale, lift the arms straight up. And then exhale, bring it down. We're going to fold that strap in half. This time we're going to take it behind our backs. When you take it behind your back, your shoulders are going to roll back and your arms are going to lift away from your body. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to sit back with the hips and we're going to roll the belly towards the thighs and let the head angle towards the knees. At the same time, you're picking your arms up a little higher, shoulders drawing up and away from the ears. Inhale, slowly come up. Relax the shoulders a moment. We're going to do that again to change it up. All right, now crank the shoulders back. Lift and lengthen through the forearms. Bend the knees. Slide your thigh bones back. Bow over. Now from this juncture, we're going to see if we can slowly just straighten out the right leg. Just the right leg. The left knee stays bent. The heel stays on the ground. You may have to separate away from your thighs a little bit. All right, bend your right. Inhale, try to straighten and structure just your left leg. All right, bend both knees. All right, inhale, try to straighten out both legs now. Pouring over the lower body. Feel free to nod your head. Bend your knees. Let your arms start to drop down towards the feet. Let go of the strap with one hand and come up to stand. And you can send that strap to the side. All right, your hands are going to come to prayer position at your heart. Lace your fingers, pump the wrist skyward. Exhale, curve over to the right, towards the front door. Inhale, come back to the top. Exhale, you're going to curve and lean over to the left. Continue to hold and breathe in Chandrasana, crescent moon. And potentially affirming mentally within strength and courage, fill up my body cells. Strength and courage, fill up my body cells. Inhale, rise back to the top. Separate your hands, feet grounding, arms rising. Come to stand at the top of the mat if you're not already. Because now we're going to take some sun salutations. We're going to swan dive forward and down to Uttanasana. This time, the shoulders are not being activated. The shoulders are relaxing. Keep lifting through your knees, contracting your quads. Inhale, come halfway up. Lengthen out through the vertebrae as you look forward with your eyes. And then exhale, pour right back down through the middle. All right, inhale, we're stepping into plank. Now, when you come to plank position, you're going to sink down to the knees. You're going to shift forward and lower down like you're trying to drink from a creek. Inhale, untuck the toes, roll through to the abdomen, shoulders roll back. We're staying on the belly in Bhujangasana. Your legs stretch back, the buttocks get really firm. Do the diaphragmatic breathing or the Ujjayi breath. As you exhale, you're going to come down to the brow. Your fists are going to hide your thumbs and stack in the hip crease beside the pubic bone. Keep the head on the floor and inhale, lift both legs and feet. Locust. Deep breathing. Inhale, fly the feet up slightly more. Exhale, lower the feet down. Release your hands. Have them at the base of your ribs, set beside your body. Fingertips blade. And then inhale, lift your pelvis off the floor so you're coming into an upward facing dog. Exhale, curl your toes. Roll back to downward facing dog. Solidify your hands. Power back through your arms. Power back through your thighs. Let's send your sits bones up to be the pinnacle of the pose. One more inhale. Exhale, still to your knees. Untuck the toes. Bring the hands to the waist. You're going to keep your thighs shifting forward, shoulders rolling back, shins grounding down, and take Ustrasana, camel. Affirming here with calm faith, I open myself to life. Inhale, come up. As you exhale, you're going to sit back towards your feet. Your arms are going to slide out to extended child's pose. Inhale, rock up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Be here and breathe here. Inhale, we're stepping that right foot forward and up between the hands. We're lengthening through that front thigh bone. And then we're going to drop the back knee, shift foot. Good, now pressurize that front foot. Inhale, come up to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, drop the hips, bow forward, and lower the hands. Good, twice more. Inhale, circling up. And exhale, descending down. We're going to change up this third one a little bit. So as you inhale, rise. This time, lean your head back. Look at your hands and create this Jupiter Mudra. And then bring the ears back in line with the upper arms. Chin parallel to the floor. See if you can slide the arms back. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And then slowly begin to arch back. And breathe. Exhale, hands down. Curl the back toes under. When you're ready, stepping into plank. From plank position, exhale, knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, slither through to the belly, Bhujangasana Cobra. Legs back, toes on the floor, glutes nice and firm. Not too much weight on your hands. Stimulate and strengthen the diaphragm muscle you're resting on. And then exhale, lower to the brow. Your fists are going to create a platform underneath your body.
Inhale, lengthen the legs and lift them up. Up, up, and away. Let them defy gravity. Exhale, bring the feet down. Release your hands out and set them alongside your base ribs. Elbows squeeze to the side body. Inhale, push up into upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, rock and roll down. Sit downward facing dog. Press into the forward part of the hand so there's less weight bearing in the wrist. Take a cleansing breath while you're here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Next out breath, drop to the knees. Untuck the toes. Anchor your shins. Hands come back to the waist. Shoulders roll back. Your tailbone is facing the floor. And you're trying to keep your thighs perpendicular to the floor as you open up to camel. On faith, I open myself to life. Inhale, drive up. Exhale, slide it out into extended child's pose. Inhale, rock up, hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Your head, just relax between the arms. Eyes can be open or closed. Inhale, the left foot's going to step through this time. And the back knee is going to spill to the floor and untuck the back toes. Pressurize the front foot so that you're coming up to higher ground. And exhale, sweep it back alongside the front foot. Twice more. The third one, we're going to change up shoulders. Lean the head back, lace the fingers, and then drive the head back in between the arms. Maybe crank the shoulders back and lift them higher before you strike your back bend. Urdhva Drishti, you're looking upward. Exhale, hands down. Tuck the back toes, taking one more vinyasa. Same flow, Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale to Bhujangasana, more of a baby cobra. Continue to hold and breathe. And then lower to the ground. Let's go into that half lotus. Now focus on the lower body. Still strengthening the low back, the core, the glutes, the quads. Exhale, release the feet. Hands prop alongside your base ribs. Inhale, stretch out the spine, up dog. Exhale, curl the toes, roll back, down dog. Lengthen thoroughly through the vertebrae. Exhale, spill to the knees. Untuck the toes. Inhale, camel. Ustrasana. Feel as though there's a wall in front of you and your thighs are flush to the wall. Exhale, release. Child's. Inhale, rock up. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So just as we noticed, working with the strap, when we were opening up the shoulders, you started to develop more openness, getting some of the tightness washed out. Same thing occurs when we repeat any of these other asanas. So on your next in-breath, let's bring the feet to the top of the mat. If you want to bend the knees and hop the feet together, you can. And then lifting up halfway once you arrive. And then exhale, lower. And notice the difference here as you tip your weight forward towards your toes. Hopefully feeling a little freer in your hamstrings. On your next in-breath, root down to rise. And exhale, bring hands to Samasthiti. All right. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, lift and lengthen out. Exhale, bow. Inhale, plank. All right, this time we're going to change it up. We were working with Ashtanga Pranam, and if you need that, use that. But we're going to try to lower to 8 counts with Chaturanga. Okay, so shift your shoulders past your wrist, and let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You flop. Lengthen out through your toes. Inhale, roll up, Bhujangasana. I said plop, but Kelsey was like, I got this, I can have it. Lower to the face. Thumbs hidden, prop underneath that hip crease, and lift to your half Samapasana, your half locust. Stay in command over the breath. That will help to minimize the Manomaya Kosha running away from the present moment. This way you stay safe in your body. Lower the feet. Hands alongside the low ribs. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe here, drawing that belly in. Ensuring that you're not swaying or bowing the back. It should be a counter pose after a back bend. All right, exhale, lower to the knees, untuck the toes. Inhale, prepare for camel. Now in this sun sound, if you're feeling pretty open at this point, you're welcome to stack your hands to your heels, but if your hips slide back, you're going to press them forward and let the head lean back. Don't feel like you have to go there. You can always stay here, the exact placement we were before. It really depends person to person. So find your camel. Affirming with calm faith, I open myself to life. You're going to come through to extended child's pose. However, if your hands are at your heels, you can rock the hips down and you can roll over like this to regular child's pose. So you can feel free to change it up a little bit. So Kelsey, in the regular child's pose, instead of stretching out the spine so much, pull the belly in, come more to the hairline, so you have a little bit more of a rounded back. Yes, good. And because you went so extreme into the back bend, that's going to give you a better counter. You can do it either way. All right, if your hands are beside your feet, now we're going to create the traction through the spine by sliding the arms out, lifting the face up, Rock up to hands and knees, exhaling, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna do a pose that we haven't done in a while, or maybe you have with another teacher, but I know I haven't led it in a Blissful class in a while. Inhale, the right foot's gonna step forward. Go ahead and lower the back knee. Now, the foot is actually gonna slide back. And be careful with your knee if you have any problems with your knee, but I don't think any of you do. So it should feel okay to extend it past the ankle, something that we don't always do, right? There's exception to the rules for this pose. Hands are gonna come to the knee, and you're dropping and melting through your hips and pelvic floor. Tuck the back toes under. This is spear pose. It's usually a yin pose. You can be here, totally fine. Second variation, take your forearm to rest on the knee. Bring your middle finger to your thumb to represent patience, the Shuni Mudra, and your left arm behind your back, maybe with the same mudra. Now your other option would be to lift the back foot, to take the left hand to hold it. Third option would be crank the foot in, grab it with your right hand, and sail the left arm back behind. I know that's a lot. We're gonna find our way out. There's also a balancing component to that. Plant the palms ahead of the right foot, curl the toes, step it into place. All right, you can do Ashwagandha and hold or drop for 8 breaths, for 8 counts, or you can do the chaturanga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lengthen your shins and toes. Inhale, Bhujangasana. And breathe. Exhale, lower to the face. Hands and fists up underneath the hips. Inhale, half float. Continue to breathe. Exhale, land the feet. Release your hands. Prepare for up dog. When you're ready, lift. On your exhale, rock and roll back. This is a lot of heart openers for a Monday morning. Hopefully it'll make us feel really ready and open for the week. Sit down to your knees. Untuck your toes. Inhale, camel. And again, if you want to go deeper at this point, your hands can be on blocks or your heels or your waist. Calm faith. I open myself up to more light. Inhale up. Exhale, extended child. We're going to change this up. We're going to walk with the elbows out in front of us. Hands are going to move together to prayer. And then we bow the head in between. This is going to help to stretch out the side lats, the shoulders. We have been doing a lot of strengthening as well. So notice what layer you're at. Are you focused on body, the first layer? Are you focused on breath, the second layer? Or are you mixed in with your mind at the third layer? We'll be learning about the fourth and fifth in the upcoming weeks. Inhale, lift the head up. Separate your hands, rock it the knees, take downward facing dog. And we're gonna prepare here for that next sphere pose. Gain a visual of yourself doing it, even though we're not in it yet. All right, inhale, left foot steps through. Spill down through the back knee, shin and foot. Slide that left foot back. Now, I didn't mention this before, but you can also elevate the heel. And it will play with your balance more if you want that extra challenge. Hands to the knee. Then curl the back foot under. So maybe this is all you need today for this pose. You can try the mudras, taking that twist. You can also try balancing, holding the back foot. Or exploring the left hand to the foot and freeing up the right hand. Okay. Release out. Hands flat down, curl the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna do one more vinyasa. Inhale, shift forward, plank. Take it down, 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, cobra. By the way, we may try something I have not tried before. It's what we're trying to warm up for. I have a feeling Kelsey can do it. After seeing her practice. So she may be the model if I can't do it. I tried to do it yesterday and I wasn't warmed up enough. Exhale, lower the brow. Hands underneath the inner thighs. Feet lift and levitate. Breathe. Lower the feet. Release the hands alongside the base ribs. Inhale up now. Exhale down now. Suction that abdomen in. Secure the ribs in. Exhale, land your knees. Our last camel. Again, you can take it here, or you can take it here, dropping back more if your body allows, and only if it allows, and only if you can freely breathe. If you can, it's not worth it. You can do more harm or damage than gaining benefit. If you want to gain benefit from the pose. All right, you can come to regular child if your hands are at your feet, curving over and rounding the back. Your hands were more at your waist, you can come down to extended child. Little difference in the variation. We're going to close out the Surya Namaskara. Inhale, stretch the arms out. Rock up hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. When you're ready, look forward towards your hands. Float the feet up together. Lengthen out Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release. Inhale up to the top. Exhale, Samasthiti. All right, we're going to do one more floor exercise here, and then we're going to go to the wall. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Inhale to step back plank. Come down to forearms and link your fingers together. Now, when you push back like a dolphin, I want you to walk your feet forward a little bit. Your head is hovering off the floor. And then as you inhale, you're moving your hips down, head forward over the hands. And as you exhale, you're pushing up and back into dolphin. And you're just going to do that a few times. Sink down to this. Let me give you a choice at the wall. Okay. So go ahead and slide that back. I'm going to give you a couple choices. The second choice I'm going to show you, like I said, I haven't quite done yet. I don't even know if I can do it. So first choice, I know I can do it. Shirshasana 1, headstand. If you don't fully go into headstand, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you some different stopping points. If you can't see what I'm doing, stand on the sides of the room so you can get a better view. Basically, those of you at home, I'm doing my arms to be parallel, like Sphinx arms, where the fingertips touch the baseboard. And then I'm going to make sure the hands wrap around the elbows. Once you have that, you can lace the fingers. You come forward and spill down to the crown. And then you push down through the forearms to lift the head up. So it looks like this from the side. So it's like you're doing, see how I'm doing a cat stretch? And that picks me up. And then as I exhale, I lower the head, but I'm still trying to keep those muscles engaged somewhat. And these are the muscles required for Shirshasana 2. And then we have to contract the core, and then we have to shoot the legs up and point the toes. And so your work, I think I said last week, was, just engaging the core. But the wall, it's not going to matter as much, you'll see here at the wall, because once you tuck the toes, you crawl the feet in to start aligning the hips over the shoulders, and then you can curl up. The wall is there. You can lift the legs up. You can point the toes here. You can come away from the wall. You can also take one leg up at a time. You can also pipe 2 legs up together. So I'm going to let you practice that. The wall will catch you so you don't flip. And then I'm going to try to show you what I want to learn to do. I used to do this as a kid, like without the wall. But I have it as an adult. Okay, so think about all the back bends we've been doing. Sorry, I just got a cramp in my inner thigh. So when we come up to bridge, right, that's a back bend. Flip the hands over, we've been gaining upper body strength. We come to wheel. For wheel, we can walk up the wall. You did it. I did it. Then you can flip over. That was fun. In your case, okay, so I got this idea to use the wall, because I used to do that solo. I'm old now. The wall's helpful. I've been thinking about you, Kelsey. So Kelsey's been doing the headstand, and then she's been bowing over, and she's so bendy, it hasn't hurt her. She hasn't hurt herself. She can do that naturally because she's a great backbender. So over the weekend, I saw a clip from another studio of someone doing wheel pose and then coming into that formation with their arms, being in the pose that you landed in. And I knew that was a pose. I was like, you're doing a pose anyway. But they were doing that. They were bringing the head down, arms down, and then they were using the feet on the wall to come up to headstand. And you could technically do it the other way too. So if you had space between the wall and headstand, you could do the handstand. You could allow the legs to kick over. You don't need the wall because you already do it. And the feet can walk down. So it's an actual yoga sequence. I didn't know it was a sequence. I had just been seeing her do it. And I love how the universe shows up to just hand it to you. So you've actually been doing it. That's actually a transition people do, and I didn't even know it. I knew it was a yoga pose. Kind of cool, huh? Okay. So you get to play. You get to play around with one or the other. Headstand. Make sure you measure the forearms, sphinx, fingers interlace. Is this what you mean? Kinda. You were doing it another way, and you're so creative, I just wanted to watch you. So yes, that's exactly what I think. And that's amazing that you could do it without the wall. I'm like so impressed. So what they were doing is what I was showing here. Coming up here, and then dropping to the crown and working into the arms, and then using the feet. Does that make sense? Like that, yeah. And then, is it possible to bring the arms down, head down? Yes. And then you could just kick over too. Awesome. I love it. I wish you guys at home could see this. That was really cool. You guys have any questions about what you were working on? Headstand or the back bends? All right, that was our big pose today. We can take legs up the wall if you want. For our Shavasana. So if you lay down on the corner of the mat closest to the wall on your side, and then roll back, your legs can shoot up. And this can be your reward for working up towards the peak pose today. Let your hands rest anywhere of your liking. If you need more grounding, it's kind of nice to have on the belly. If you want the arms to release alongside you, it's fine too. So at the end of our practice, when we're in Shavasana, this is where we let the outermost layer go. We've been working with the body. We've been using it on purpose to help to get the energy flowing better. You may feel the energy circulating through the body, and now you just want to absorb it like a sponge would absorb water.
But it gives you an opportunity to also notice this layer that we're talking about this week, the mind stuff. This mental layer feeds off the impressions we offer it. So I want you to be inquisitive. What have you been feeding your mind? What thoughts are on repeat in your mind? Are you paying attention when you're on social media to know when something's feeding you something positive or negative? And whether or not you get triggered and go down the rabbit hole. What have you been watching? With films and documentaries, videos? Are they aggressive stimulation or peaceful stimulation? And this is important because the health of this kosha is responsible for the health of the other layers. Still stay with your breath as it comes and goes. We're going to be ending our practice today with a mantra meditation. And a mantra means mind tool. Basically, it's a tool of the mind to go beyond our ordinary or negative thought processes. So let's go ahead and descend the feet down the wall. Or curl the knees into yourself. You're in a different posture. And then roll to one side of your body. And you're going to come up to take a seat. Sorry, someone entered and I just told them to be quiet and then they left cards and left. I will always hold the space for you, so don't be alarmed if the doors open that way. Sit with your back supported against the wall. So the Dalai Lama says that this mantra that we're going to listen to is a great mantra to purify the mind. So we're going to sit with it, we're going to be with it. It's Om Mani Padme Hum. And they sing it over and over again. While they're singing, we're listening and repeating it in our minds over and over again. So I'm going to turn it up. Sit up tall, close the eyes. Listen and repeat in your own mind. By the way, it means celebrate the jewel of the lotus, the spirit in your own heart. Feed your mind a mantra. Let's bring our hands now to prayer position of the heart. The light and the love that I hold within my heart, pass humbly to the love and the light which you hold within yours. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Thanks you guys for joining today. We did a chakra series a few months ago, and I had this epiphany during that series that there are so many different meditations, and if you're working on a particular chakra, there's great meditations for that. For instance, for the lower body, a moving meditation, a walking meditation. For the second chakra, which is related to the element of water, you could do the float tank, floating on water. Or you know how you just go to the sea sometimes and you just sit and meditate, just staring at the ocean? That's meditating with the water element. The fire element, sometimes if you're ever around a bonfire or sitting in front of your fireplace, sometimes you can just get mesmerized by the fire. You can even meditate on the flame of a candle. That's the element here. The element is air for the heart chakra. So doing breathing meditations can really open up this field. So with the throat chakra, throat also goes with ears and sense of hearing. So it could be listening to mantra music. It could be chanting music. It could be sound meditation, hearing the bells and the chimes and the gongs playing. For the third eye, it's about more like visions, right? Guided imagery, shamanic journeys, meditating, and you may like see colors. Or the crown chakra is all about silence, meditating in just pure silence. So for this, the mantra meditation, the throat is said to be the passageway between the mind and the heart. So the idea is when we get entrapped by the negative thinking, when we get imprisoned by the things that we've been programmed by, and we're trying to clear our head, we need to drop down into the heart. What better passageway to drop in the heart from the throat? So the mantra meditation, you're feeding your mind new thoughts You're repeating it as you listen, and you can even do it vocally, and that will help to drop you in even more. So they're all beneficial, but I just wanted to remind you guys of that since I just had that epiphany not too long ago. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Just as a reminder, the 9:30 class on Wednesday has been canceled just because of spring break. It's a limited schedule. So for those of you online, I'll be sending a video since I won't be recording that morning live. Okay, bye.